the main event is always loaded here on SB Nation Radio. But now, I mean, this is about as big as it gets here, okay? You got a legendary movie like Top Gun. You don't just let it sit out there without some sort of sequel. A nice little close to the story, all right? So when they told us that we could get the cast of Top Gun Maverick on with us, Miles Teller, Glenn Powell, Monica Barbaro. How we doing? How's everybody going?
Great, man. Thanks for having us.
Blast.
First time in Miami.
Now, when they told you
frequently?
were getting the cast of Top Gun, we were like, oh, my God, we're going to get to talk to Tom Cruise.
I don't have anything in common with Tom Cruise. I don't know how I
might have more than you think. He's kind of an everyman.
Really?
But he's not.
Okay.
But he
Darn
is.
Tom Cruise? Oh, man. Look, was Tom Cruise the best part of Top Gun? I don't know. Maybe it was everybody else in the movie, you know?
Were you, was it Goose? Was it Iceman or what?
Yeah. The volleyball scene, that was the big.
Oh, yeah.
That was the one you watched on loop?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
The volleyball scene.
Yeah.
Playing with the boys. All right.
We talked to someone earlier who he was like, the iconic Top Gun song, and he started singing "Take My Breath Away," and we were like,
it was the only thing he really remembered from the movie. All he wanted to talk about was that scene. I was like,
blue light, and he
blue light kiss,
man.
man.
I was like, this scene really changed this dude's perspective on
Now we
everything.
know volleyball.
A lot of tongue in that scene.
Totally. I was like, I know how this dude kisses.
All right,
a lot of saliva.
Volleyballs, blue lights, and some planes every now and then.
When you guys were approached to be a part of this movie, was it an instant yes, just because of the brand and the first one being such an iconic film? Was it an easy decision to be a part of the film?
For me, absolutely. I actually auditioned assuming I wouldn't be allowed anywhere near the movie, and
that's because of your parole thing or whatever.
They said it. Miles, we weren't going to talk about that.
At felonies, it's already hired.
Okay, guys.
Damn manslaughter charge.
Keep sneaking up. I just want to act like Karen.
My God.
Thought it would get
so
expunged. Yeah.
Well, my cover's blown, so I better get head out of here. But yeah, no, they said I could do it. So yeah, I absolutely showed up to work the next day.
Miles, for you, easy decision?
It was a pretty there was a process, you know what I mean? It wasn't just like they said, would you like to be in Top Gun? Yes, okay, here's the part. There's definitely kind of due diligence there. But, yeah, it's that you're stepping into something with really high expectations. For so many people, it is truly their favorite film. And then for me to come in and be playing Goose's kid, a lot of people have an opinion on what that should be, but I think that I don't know what people's expectations are. If I'm just kind of a general audience member, I'm saying, they're doing a sequel to this movie I love so much 30 years later. Why? But I would just say the fact that Tom Cruise is spearheading this thing, and he's he's the leader of this. He's going to exceed expectations as he always does.
What was he like to work with, and how exciting was it to be a part of a movie like this? And the guy who spearheaded it, as you talked about, Miles, was the guy at the forefront of the sequel, the return for the film.
Well, there's no better guy that demands perfection than Tom Cruise. So you're in good hands. You're never going to put out a bad movie when Tom's at the front of it. And especially with this one, if Miles took on the role of Goose's son and the movie was terrible, he would have to walk around, people cursing his dead father from the original.
More people would have to walk. But people curse me out all the time, Glenn.
Yeah, but it was just specifically for this.
Part of my charm.
Yeah, he's just a surly son of a gun that he's just lovable. He's
When
lovable.
I turn Glenn down in my headphones, he's super loud.
Is he?
He's just so excited.
Can I get Miles out of that chair?
Movie.
Is that possible? Can we move Miles over to that
Turn
table?
Monica up, mute Glenn, and we're
Miles,
good.
I'm so glad you're here. It's just been me against Glenn this whole time. And,
that was me for 8 months.
Yeah.
Have you guys done a lot of
Your
interviews
voice irritates
together?
me. What?
Or have you guys done a ton of interviews together? Or this is like
No, it's pretty new. We've been on set. I've been hearing his voice for a long time. We actually bunked together on the carrier. We would talk each other to sleep every night. So it was a nightmare.
There's nowhere to go on the carrier.
Nowhere to go.
Wow.
No.
Yeah.
Small
We're on the
spaces.
USS Roosevelt.
All right, the cast,
RTR.
the cast of Top Gun Maverick here with us. Okay, be honest with me, because Tom's not here. The people with the
he's listening.
I'm sure he is. Yes.
He always listens to our show, so that would make sense.
He's actually a huge fan. So, had you seen Top Gun before you were approached for this? And how many times did you have to watch it before you got going on your own movie?
I had seen
Bits and pieces.
Bits and pieces growing up. Honestly, even when we were on the carrier, I think at any given time, Top Gun is on TV all around
On
the world.
CMT.
CMT.
Playing, it was on
On
CMT
loop.
playing on the carrier. No joke.
Kind of awesome.
Yeah, I rewatched it before going in there, but I was very aware of.
You got like kind of
who
a
Goose
character
was.
from that movie that you gotta kind of pick up.
Yeah,
a piece
it's interesting.
Or two
I
here.
think if it was a remake, that would have been interesting. But just the fact, I'm playing his son, so I think you do get a little more room to wiggle there. But yeah, I watched it for sure.
What about you, Glenn and Monica? How many times have you seen it, or how many times do you have to watch it?
I had seen it in college and loved it, but I never expected that when the audition showed up, I was just amazed that they were giving an opportunity for them to have a female pilot. So I was just stoked that, it's an updated thing to be able to play an actual pilot and get to go through the training with the guys, and that was something that was really exciting for me, and actually watching the original and trying to pick up on that sort of very male bravado, but apply it to this person who's very much a woman, and that was a really fun challenge. I think we had a lot of fun as a group.
What was it like to be on the set every single day and be around? You had that camaraderie with the cast members and the crew. Was it more fun than some of the other movies you guys have been a part of in the past? Where does this one rank?
Obviously there's an excitement to this one. There's an anticipation for this movie, but again, we were living on naval bases and we were spending the day in jets, so it didn't feel like you were acting. In my opinion, I felt.
Well, you weren't.
No.
You definitely weren't.
No. I'm the real deal. I'm method, brother.
Very accurate.
I don't phone it in, man.
Everything you see
fighter
of
pilot.
his character in the movie is Glenn in real life. Just remember that when you see it in June.
Yeah.
So
I can't say anything else.
You're one of those
Yeah.
actors that take on that role and you become so immersed in that role. It's
An ego that
all-
writes checks my body can't cash.
That's
yeah.
it. Yep.
Yeah, that's me.
So how much time in planes for this movie? You talked about flying. How much time in there? And I'm guessing there was a getting used to it period before it was a filming it while you're doing stuff like that.
There's about 3 months of flight training before we started filming, and then once we were filming, those flights continued just to keep your G tolerance up. But yeah, just to give you kind of put it in perspective, Glenn he's going to get his pilot's license next week, and he was pretty much 80% of the way there just from the training for this movie, and then he did a couple of lessons afterwards. So it was a really dense study for us. It was we all got a ton of hours and got more hours in an F-18 than
Probably any civilian out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
It was just the most exciting movie to shoot then because it is so realistic. You guys are flying things. You guys are living the life of the characters you're playing in the film.
You're adrenalined up the whole time, and even on days that you're not in the F-18, you're there for the briefs and you're aware of how they're mapping out these sequences, and you're learning from crews on how what's the most exciting thing for an audience and what are the angles and how are they the physics of even trying to attempt to do this thing. So it was always film school. It was always exciting, and you're going to see stuff in this movie that you'll never see. You've never seen in another movie, and you probably will never see again.
All right, the movie is Top Gun Maverick. Most people call it Top Gun 2. Okay, Top Gun Maverick.
They'd be wrong.
Okay. Yeah, right. It's got its own name. It's going to be its own film.
It's 30 years later. We don't add a 2. We had a Maverick at that
Yes,
point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Glenn, you're Hangman in the movie, correct?
That's correct.
Correct. Phoenix for you, Monica.
Yeah.
And then Rooster.
Yeah, that's not
that
how
was
a
kind
rooster
of a
sounds.
crow, so you're going to have to work on that
that was a
call.
crow.
It's my
Or a
it's
cockatoo.
I think
kind of my
I think
character.
we need like
so
a little
Yeah.
bit of a
A sassy
cockadoodle-doo.
rooster, I would say.
Rooster.
A rooster that's having an identity crisis. Like a yeah, it's like, this rooster's confused, obviously.
How does a hangman sound?
As a hang.
So it'll be out here soon. Everybody was going to go see it. And then everybody's going to tweet at you guys and tell you how great you did. And they're not going to tweet at Tom Cruise and tell him he was the best part of the movie. They're going to tell him that you guys were the best part of the movie.
Do you have something against Tom?
No, he's not on the show, so.
See, everyone that
so
comes
he's
on
really
our show,
upset.
we call every guest that comes on our show, friend of the show. So Martha Stewart, a friend of the show. Miles Taylor, now a friend of the show. Tom's not on the show. You guys are. So obviously, I mean, he's not a friend of the show. You
Friends
guys
of my
are
friends,
friends of the show.
you know. I
Tom's
don't know.
working. He's just making sure this movie's
Yeah, he's
good.
too busy
We're-
making 2 other Mission Impossible
Exactly.
movies right now.
Exactly.
All right, so Miles Teller, Glenn Powell, and Monica Barbaro with us, the stars. Okay, that's what we're saying. We're not calling Tom the star. The stars of Top Gun Maverick right here with us here on the Main Event on SB Nation Radio. All right, you guys can get out of here. We got to keep going. It's live radio.
Keep doing it, man.
So unless y'all want to hang around,
Who do you got next? Who are the listeners looking forward to?
Where's Martha?
It's a great question. Martha was pre-recorded, so a little inside radio. She's being played in the next hour. Dak Prescott. Well, I think you're an Eagles fan, right, Miles? So
That's a fact.
You might not like Dak. He's coming up in the next hour.
I've met that guy before. He's a good guy.
Sean Payton,
Yeah.
head coach of the Saints.
Love
He's coming
Payton.
up later. So
who's everybody
Love
got
Payton.
Sunday?
I'm going Niners.
Oh, well, that's all right. Glenn,
Chiefs.
there we go.
I'm from San Francisco, so Niners absolutely.
All right, well, Glenn, you and I, same team here.
We're in this together, buddy.
Yeah, we're in this together. I like Glenn a lot.
I mean, it's a close spread. It's the closest spread I've seen in a Super Bowl in a long time.
He definitely likes me more
Cody,
than
I
Tom.
don't think
that's
we're
for
friends
sure.
anymore.
Well, that breaks my heart. That breaks my
I'm
heart.
betting Eagles money line though, just for fun.
Sure.
that was 2 years ago. You gotta,
What?
You gotta think about
Hey,
something.
he's a Jets fan. I'm a Texans fan, so we're jealous of what you got.
I
going
rooted
on.
for the Eagles against the Patriots. 2 years
Everybody
ago.
did.
It was glorious.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Hey, you guys got, I'm sure, more people to tell about the movie. So
Yeah.
Rock and
You guys
roll,
can-
man.
All right,
Nice to meet you
thanks.
guys.
Nice
Thank
meeting
y'all.
you.
All right. Thank you.